In the top right-hand corner of the map, our red Zerg player, this is RagnaroK. And he lost to Prince. I was kind of expecting to follow him into, or catch him in the next round of the winner's bracket against whoever went out of Classic and GuMiho, which was Classic, and hence GuMiho is here in the lower bracket. But you know, RagnaroK lost to Prince. Then GuMiho has lost to Classic, and that's why we're here. And like I said, just rather cast TvZ than PvP, quite simply. Quite honestly. So here we are. GuMiho, obviously TvZ, loves to play some mech stuff, loves to play some longer games and so on, so that's definitely something we could be looking out for here. Definitely a possibility. I'm just going to see a couple of SCVs going to make their way to the low ground, and looks like we're going to get ready to expand straight away. It's going to be CC first, so not going to be having ourselves a barracks early on, not going to be an early Reaper. But a command center first, straight into an eco-focused play here from GuMiho. Hardwire, a reasonable sized map as well. I'd say it's kind of crazy to expect your opponent to... basically, to hard counter a CC first, you have to like preemptively, blindly be like, yeah, I'm going to cheese all in you from the start of the game. Hardwire is not really the map where RagnaroK's likely to do that, so... playing straight into that CC first, I like it. We're starting to see this a lot more from Terrans. But it's not used to the point where people can just be like, oh, you're going to CC first, I'm just going to abuse that. It's been mixed in a very good amount, I would say, and that's really cool to see. It's been very fun to just have a little bit more, even more kind of variety early game in this matchup, because this matchup really has been one of the best at providing variety, and so far has continued to do so as well. Which is freaking awesome, so yeah, really cool as we do just have a spawn pool coming online, and this hatch gas pool setup all comes in. There'll be an SCV scout from GuMiho who he does want to just double check how much trouble am I in. Oh, cool, you're expanding early. Okay, no trouble at all for now at least. So, yeah, figuring that out straight away is very, very good. SCV is actually going to come and try and block the third hatchery. Force it to the other side. Oh, a little bit of mind games. He gets back to block it again. No, and he blocks it again. Obviously, the couple of Lings will finally push this SCV away. RagnaroK would rather take it here a little later than take it out of position because, well, an out of position hatchery is just awkward to deal with, honestly. It really is. It's just kind of awkward to deal with straight up. So, just gonna kind of, you know, take it later instead. That's why I'm on maps like Blackburn, for example, getting an engineering bay block on the third base is so good because the Zergs just do not want to take that third on Hardwire. Yeah, it's the same sort of situation. It's just not a good position. Much easier for the Terran to push into. Your units don't kind of flow across the map as easily if you take that forward third. There's definitely some reasons for concern and all of that. Just gonna see the SCV then back home from his scout. Reaper and the Hellion will join up, and that should be the next little move across the map here in the next couple moments. Get that established and get ready to go. There's the Reaper and the two Hellions just lining up. Got a few of them getting set there, and the cloak on the way up as well right now. So, getting that cloak going, and the Viking production going. Very standard stuff moving into that Banshee and everything as kind of a follow-up here. It's got a few Lings rolling around and a few drones now onto the third hatch as well. A little bit of crew spread will just set up on the far left-hand side. A few Lings just patrolling here and just going to be having a couple extra armories on the way up. The Heli and the Banshee all coming through. We are going to move this into mech, so not really any surprise there, right? We are just going to move this into the mech style. That's usually what we expect to see, and that is what we're going to be seeing this time around. So, getting set up for that. Let's just got our queens sat out into the center. Again, feeling it's just going to come back around as well. Get set up over here. And everything just getting established right now. A few extra links setting up. These couple of 1-1 upgrades are continuing through. There's actually going to be a little bit of Hellion Reaper out around to the left-hand side. Trying to see if it can maybe come in and get set to make something of a difference. Viking will get rid of the Overlord. And away we go. So yeah, 1-1 upgrades, couple Thors, couple Hellions, all this coming through. Gonna see that Hydra Den coming down as well right now. Just continuing with all of this right here. Let's see, when you're playing against this mech style, melee upgrades aren't usually the way to go, but if you can play Ling Bane Hydra, you can kind of play this kind of very hyper-aggressive style. You get rid of SEVs repeatedly, you just get very aggressive non-stop, and it can actually turn out pretty well for you, so definitely got a little bit of potential as you see these two medevacs of Thor is going to start moving out onto the map. Away they go. So it's kind of an old school mech build as well. It's not one you really see so much, right? You know, the double Thor drop, but it used to be kind of, because nowadays you see the BC drop a lot. Sorry, not the BC drop, but the BC opening a lot, and that kind of, you know, is the new way of getting into mech in a good way. This was kind of the old school way of getting into mech in a good way, because the Thor drop provided you map control and, you know, some early damage that you otherwise weren't really finding. So yeah, let's see what goes down as these Hellbats Thor all moving forward, making a little bit of a push in right now, and just going to continue to work their way through the queens there. Banshee getting a couple of shots off, and that Banshee is going to go down. Pretty good cleanup from RagnaroK across the board, pretty comfortable stuff. And it's just going to be seen Ling Hydra getting a little wrap around on this set of rocks over here as well. Two Hellions get a Zergling as they back away down to the south. And the Thor's Hellions all joined up together. Maybe try and do something themselves in the next few moments. There's a couple extra janks on the way. Everything else still looking pretty regular here for the most part. GuMiho obviously lost a lot. And he's trading badly. It's not like super end of the world territory just yet, so not so bad for the moment. But it is something to be cautious about in the future as these couple of medevacs of Thors make their way over to the right-hand side. Vein Force is going to come around, a couple Hydras as well. The Hellions trying to get in to deal some damage, but unable to really find anything anywhere just yet. It's going to be seeing the continues up the top. These Hellions are going to start roasting some of these Lings, but they're trying to catch the Hellions, and Hellions for now just about able to get away, staying out of trouble. This army is getting to be a little bit susceptible. I mean, the Thor at least has an evacuation plan, medevac here to escort it, but it's really not ideal, right? It is not looking great right now, as yeah, things definitely troubling around these parts. It's going to be seeing the Hellions morphing into Hellbats. And a big push from GuMiho. I mean, he does actually have a supply lead right now, as I believe we're banking up a little bit of money to try and get set to go here, so yeah, banking up a little bit of money, and maybe there's going to be some potential for GuMiho to actually do something. A lot of units now suddenly on the way all at once as they realize, uh-oh, kind of need to get set up. All that chopped down, feelings, the Bane lane getting picked off, Lings and the Hydras coming through, going after that medevac. With plenty of CCs behind this, and this position pretty strong. Hard to break this because there's just so many chokes everywhere. He's like surrounded by ledges and stuff, right? So definitely very difficult to break that down. There's a couple of extra tanks do just get sieged up, and again getting set over here. Just going to see now the Langbane Hydra, though, is going to start making a move forward. The tanks will be able to start firing up a storm. The Hellbat's going to try and tank a little bit. GuMiho is going to start losing quite a bit, but honestly, so did RagnaroK, and there's just one or two more medevacs to help evacuate these Thors again. That would be really nice, but unfortunately not the case. However, these last few Hellions are going to get rid of the final Hydras, and again, honestly, at the end of the day, look at the resource loss now. GuMiho has had a good fight, and he is starting to build up off the back end of this. So, wow, this actually might turn out to be okay, guys. This might actually be GuMiho still in this game, because it's scary in that position. Like I say, it was a good position, don't get me wrong, but it's 100% a position that can go wrong very quickly if you're not careful, right? So, yeah, well, good to see that it turns out okay. I'm just going to be seeing our units coming back together here. Plus your missiles, General Glance, plus 3 melee, all coming up. Langbane Hydra continuing through. It's going to drop down a bunch of creep tumors and keep spreading that forward on the map here. The Hellions pull back around to the left-hand side, and it's going to be seeing extra chunks of factories coming up right now. So, yeah, and all these extra factories up and rolling. And Slings and Banes are going to start making their way forward. So, and they go. Hellions getting chased out of here. With all the extra factories and production coming up, we're going to have a lot of Hellion production now. Needs to stay active on the map, right? You want to really just stick around here. Make sure you're getting rid of a lot of this creep spread wherever possible. Yeah, denying a lot of the map control, picking off some of the units that are just kind of here and there. And you have a couple of Vipers making their way forward, looking to get a couple of Blinding Clouds or maybe even Abducts down in the early stages. It's going to be seeing the tank getting hit by the Blinding Cloud and a little bit there as well. But holding its ground, and that is perhaps the most important of all right now. Now the ground is being held. You have the +2 carapace upgrade on the way in. +3 missiles as well. I mean, RagnaroK knows he wants to keep up with his tech, keep up with his upgrades here. Doesn't want to fall too far behind. As we do get in this mineral line, we aim for some drones. Not going to do too hot on that. A lot more Banes morphing in as well. I'm worried though as this game goes by, right? It does feel as though you're definitely going to get into a position which is going to be a heck of a lot tougher for you as... a heck of a lot tougher for you as the... Zerg, because you're still just playing kind of a low-tech army. Like, it's not super bad, but it's definitely, that's pretty far from ideal still, put it that way. It's not the best situation we got going. And Hydra down the bottom side, we do have a few Hydras here, gonna take some shots as well, so gonna have a couple of Hellbats in the center, as we do still have more Hellions running by too. This has just been non-stop. The, run-bys have been pretty thorough. Yeah, the few SCVs just got blown up with this base over here actually as well, so these Banelings connecting nicely. Boy, +3 melee lings, just melee Banelings just destroying over here, so doing a pretty good job of that. As these Hellions come through. It's a working massacre. 23 drones, 15 SCVs, neither player is allowed to really get a comfortable economy going. I'll not lie, when we got into this game, I kind of knew that it's very likely we were going to have a pretty hefty kind of macro game on our hands, and that's exactly what we're going to be given here between GuMiho and RagnaroK game 1 of this lower bracket run that for both of them in this HomeStory Cup qualifier. Handful of Vipers are kind of forward. Not really anything on the map from GuMiho to really punish Vipers though. You know, there's a very low amount of Vikings, there's a Cyclone. It's not like there's ghosts or anything to get snipes off, so these Vipers are somewhat free to kind of come through and do as they need. Drops a Blinding Cloud there. The Banes are going to get forwards onto this group of Thors. We're trying to stop these tanks from doing much. We abduct those in. We Blinding Cloud the other ones. RagnaroK's still losing a lot, and especially if these tanks come out of Blinding Cloud, could do a lot more there as well. Just going to start pushing up, chase these Hydras away. It's going to spread out a little bit. A few Hellions going up the right-hand side, and just going to be taking a little bit of a fight in. Hellions morph into Hellbats, and just going to pick themselves off a Queen right there. So Queen goes down. The rest of the Hydras just coming along. And heading down to the bottom right-hand corner is the couple Vikings coming through as well. Of course, RagnaroK has pretty much every base he wants on this map apart from one of these two. But he's trading worse, so it's okay for GuMiho for it to look like this for a little while. It's not the end of the world or anything just yet. Off to the right, Hellions is going to get through, pick away at this Queen a little bit. The Hydra's coming forward here as well to get involved in this bit of a skirmish. Troop spread continuing to drop. Water cannon on the way in. Apparently, late game, we're going to see a battlecruiser transition here out of GuMiho, so eyes open for that one. And it's going to be a setup that he has going for himself. It's kind of fun. Can't complain about too much about that, right? Can't complain too much about that. A few drones went down over on this side, and for the moment, that's about all they wrote. GuMiho comes pushing through the center again and is going to be making some progress here, so trying to get through again. I mean, working the positions. He's not going overboard on these attacks. He's being pretty cautious about how he gets set up and everything, so doing a reasonable job of making sure he's never overextending. He's always basically taking his fights in pretty reasonably good positions, right? That's good to see. As we do get rid of this base, nice from RagnaroK to slow down a CC, although let's be realistic. Don't think that CC going down is a huge deal. GuMiho has plenty to replace it with, and I'm sure we'll see quite a few times the base over here likely to fall, so definitely don't feel like we should be overly concerned about that as Broodlords make their way along. That's going to be coming over to the far right-hand side too now. They do have advanced ballistics, plus 2 ship weapons, all of that starting up here. As GuMiho's army comes back along, and is going to be again, not initiating the fight. He's just stacking up money. He's not trading out. He's slowly trading into moving into battle cruisers. So he is changing up what he's building as the BCs come online. Just gonna see how Broodlords here gonna drop down, kill off a chunk of rocks. Up the left-hand side, these Thors come in, gonna get rid of a spine. One of the Thors, unfortunately, is gonna fall. Just gonna be seeing the units actually at least holding out. A couple tanks sieging here, and that base could die, but the Broods are making a major play. Now, obviously, Broods are going up against 11 Thors here. And actually, this is interesting because there's a few Thors over here. I wonder if they could even just do okay against this. The Vikings are showing up as well. And the Thors aren't going to last long, but you can see even just a couple of them do pretty well. Good parasitic bombs, actually, as the Vikings land to get out of that. Looking to get out of trouble ASAP. Broodlings still trying to drop down from the skies. I'm just going to be seeing the Vikings. Actually going to find the Vipers. So actually now the Vipers are exposed, and this time the Vikings were there to take advantage of it. And GuMiho is just getting rid of bases. Top left base will go down. Continues to make his way around the right-hand side with those Vikings hanging out for a moment or two. Thors continue up, and just going to be seeing the Baneling Nest is going to be dropping. This hatchery is just going to go down now as well. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of destruction in the top left. So much goes down over there. Kind of surprised how much goes down over there, even as you can see the Broodlings going to drop back down here, and these tanks aren't going to be in trouble. That's one more hatchery, though. Geez, the entire left side for RagnaroK has had a nightmare. That's not fun at all. Trying to get the Viper energy up a little further as you see Hellions going to morph into Hellbats coming on in. Zergling's drones going to have to go running. The Hellions going to get through a lot of these drones. Oh my goodness, there's an entire worker line over here. Oh my god, it's more than a worker line. Holy crap. It's barbecue for the entire Terran country. Jeez, it's the entire Terran fleet fed for days. 39 drones just died. and RagnaroK's just running around with Broodlords, and I mean, eventually you're gonna have to do something with these, no? Like, if you don't do something with them soon, you are in some trouble. It kind of has to be said. Not really ideal at all. As, yeah, obviously, GuMiho's just having all the time in the world to build up this battlecruiser fleet as well. Unless you can win one massive fight here, I think this is fair to say that this is probably going to be a done deal sooner rather than later in this TvZ. Here we go. I mean, push forward from RagnaroK, trying to make something happen, but let's see if we can actually do something with this. As you see some Hellbats going down, the Broodlings obviously allowing this kind of continued attack in. World's Drones drop, the Hydras continue to come through. I'm just going to be seeing a couple of Neuroparasites go down. Good effort from RagnaroK. Definitely making the most out of this fight and doing everything he possibly can. I mean, the Neuros especially, as we finally get rid of these couple of Infestors, allows the BCs to come back into the fight properly, fight for the right side. GuMiho just has so much in reproduction as well. This really was do or die with this army because of the way that RagnaroK ended up being set up. And unfortunately, he's going to be doing the dying, not the doing. Rough one, for sure. Jeez, GuMiho going to take in number one. Pretty comfortable when you kind of look at it overall, right? I mean, just strong game from GuMiho, well controlled. He's going to play in all ESL events this year, all EPT events, and this is an EPT event, guys. This is ESL points on the line, so it is a pretty big deal. It's one of the partnered events to be, made a little bit bigger. Lots of EPT points to be given out here. As we have the bottom right-hand side, it is going to be our Red Zerg RagnaroK, who unfortunately just couldn't get it done in game number 1 against the mech army. Top left, our blue Terran player from Storm Gaming is GuMiho. As we get signed up for this game number 2. Let's see what happens on Curious Minds. I mean, typically this is the Terran map pick as well, although I struggle to believe that GuMiho will try and play mech here. It's much more likely to be that bio style. Spawn and pool first, though, from RagnaroK, so maybe some aggression planned from him as he'll try and get cheesy to pick up a map and tie this out. Public command, stand up in the top left. Just going to see the reactor coming down on the barracks. A moment or two to catch up on some shout-outs. So, thank you very much, first of all, MHMT Damage for the fresh new Prime sub. Really appreciate it. And also Ken XXXX on the 3-month resub. Welcome back, and thank you so much for supporting the stream today on those subscriptions, guys. Really do appreciate it. Reactor coming online. These few lings are going to make their way out around the left-hand side, and we'll see if they can do any damage. But because it was reactor first from GuMiho, he's going to have Marines. So it's not like the Reaper's going to be out of position or anything, and, well, we'll have to pull a few SCVs maybe initially, but this should be very manageable, I would say. Be surprised if that was not the case. Let's find out. Let's just have these feelings. Well, can't even really do much. They will get the SCV on the low ground. We will pull the SCVs anyway, though, so that will happen. Slings do get chased away. I mean, you've forced and lost mining time. At least you slight delay on the command center. So there are benefits from this, but I wouldn't say there's anything too crazy or too exciting, right? Ceilings do just escape away for the moment. Well, extra queens on the way out from RagnaroK and from his full first. Honestly, maybe not as much as he would have liked to get, but like I say, it wasn't so bad that it was terrible for him. I feel like this is a pretty reasonable position to be in. And again, Queen's is going to kind of come down this ramp and get set up. These fuelings working their way around the far right-hand side. And try and see where they can get to as well, but nothing really too exciting just yet. couple still hanging out in the center then. Hellion, a few more drones, link speed, all of that starting up right now. We do have these couple of Hellions making their way out down to the bottom right side of the map. Just going to start some initial map control with the armory on the way. And we're just going to hellbat it. So hellbatting it on a Terran kind of favorite map, kind of wild, but see if it works out or not, as we do have our hatchery now starting in the middle. Marines will load up in the medevac, but this is seen by this Overlord. I mean, you should probably just stand and kill this Overlord off, right? Would make probably the most sense of all here. Overlord gets killed, and just the Hellions hanging back, but I'm pretty sure you know what's up right now as RagnaroK. 6 Queens, 11 Lings, and the Queens are instantly here to fight against the medevac. Hellions morph into Hellbats. This does arrive pretty quickly, mind you, so here we go as the Marine Hellbat attacks on through. Not really going to find out much of anything. We'll lift the medevac toward the main base with a couple of Hellbats, though, so maybe that can find some damage. Nope, Lings over here as well, so that's just well defended as well. Yeah, hard to say anything other than good defense right now. I think RagnaroK really holding on nicely, comfortably, and going to keep himself in a pretty great position as these 2 Hellbats lift up once again. A few Marines and so on just on the left side, waiting to maybe come down this ramp if necessary. I'll drop that 3rd CC down into place, so at least you got the map control right, and at least you're feeling good about that. That's the one thing you definitely do have in your favor in this situation, so it's nice to see as the Hellions come through. Just going to grab a Ling or so. Flare is about halfway done right now, and once that is completed, sure we'll be seeing some tech on the way from RagnaroK. What can you go from here? I mean, options really are open to you. He doesn't have any Evo chambers yet, so it doesn't look like it's going to be anything Ling Bane focused. Otherwise, I'd imagine we'd be getting the Evo chambers up ASAP to get that moving along. Be surprised if not. Yeah, would be kind of surprised about that for sure, as we just have the Evo chambers now coming in. Then what do we do with the lair? Just Bane speed? Get the upgrade started? Yeah, okay. Could go for a later Hydra down here. Play kind of like a delayed Ling Bane Hydra style or something along those lines. It's absolutely a possibility as well. Definitely a few different choices available as you rally down. Extra Ling's just going to be rallying out. He's coming around, wrapping around. Hellion's going to take some damage. And just going to be seeing the Hellbats get blasted as well. So that's not going to last very long. This is a quick attack from RagnaroK that just completely shuts down this attempt to be aggressive from GuMiho. And now RagnaroK is straight up in this mineral line. And GuMiho is just going to type GG's. That one is done. RagnaroK is going to take the 1-1 scoreline. In the bottom left-hand corner, our red Zig player from Alpha X, it is RagnaroK. Taking on the blue Terran. In the top right-hand corner of the map, it is GuMiho from Storm Gaming. One, all tied up. All comes down to this right now. This is the series that will determine who keeps their lower bracket run alive. Don't forget that this is not the only HomeStory Cup qualifier, those if RagnaroK or GuMiho lose here. They're just not kind of out of the running for HomeStory Cup altogether. They can still play the other qualifiers. We expect them to be in the other qualifiers. And we'll obviously be having... we'll be cheering them on there. Good to see GuMiho. Especially at HomeStory Cup, just because he's back from the military, right? I don't know if RagnaroK's ever been to a HomeStory Cup, though, either. Might be fun. Well, I'm gonna pull first again from RagnaroK. He's really eager to make sure nothing like super aggressive comes his way early, right? Just wants to make sure he can shut that down in an instant if necessary. Which I find a little surprising, his eagerness to try and stop that, I guess. Feelings pop out. Gonna start moving forward. Away they go. The top of the map, they direct themselves as we'll have them all moving through here, and well, yeah, kind of intrigued as to what the plan becomes from GuMiho in this game. Do we go back to Mag? Bio didn't work at all, but did Bio not work because you had a horrible start with the Hellbat attack, or did it not work because of Bio? I think GuMiho can absolutely make Bio work, so I don't think he'll be completely put off Bio. Once again, he will pull SCVs to deal with this initially, so just as we saw in the last game so far. And just dealing with it pretty comfortably. Starts a long distance mine before he goes to the high ground, so just makes this as effective as possible. Job well done for the moment. Now feelings down the bottom side. Just going to be making their way through. And, yeah, at least a few of them got out alive. We are going to go Roach Roaring this time, so maybe RagnaroK will play aggressively on the back end of this. That'd be kind of interesting. You kind of go into the Roaches this time and just trying to catch GuMiho off guard. Like, hey, look, I pulled first last time. You don't have to worry about anything this time you do. That's a cool way to mix it up. Cool way to maybe make a difference and to see some success in the game. Hey, Jahepes, what's up, man? Thank you so much for the 18-month resub. Year and a half! Hell yeah. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate it. Hope you're keeping well. You guys all excited for Frost Giants announcement tomorrow, guys? Oh, yeah. Again, tomorrow we're going to be co-streaming the Summer Games Fest and getting excited together, waiting for the Frost Giant announcement to come through. I think it'll be very fun. We can discuss it and see what we're expecting to see. And yeah, I'm excited, guys. That should be, that will be tomorrow. So drop by tomorrow evening and come enjoy some games with us. Some new games, but most importantly, Frost Giants announcement. Exciting, guys. It's exciting. Liberator Hellions Armory again on the way, so just a different variation of a Hellbat attack. But I mean, right now, this Roach attack is here from RagnaroK, marching straight up and into this base. I mean, tank on the high ground already. I mean, that's going to be pretty good to help defend this as whoa, dead center on those Roaches. That hurts. It's like one more shot off, and that might be about it. At least the Roaches might get to survive. That's definitely good news if these Roaches get to live. There's definitely something to be said about that. And Hellions just trying to chase. Now the Marine's going to come in on the flank, so this little drop that was across the map already is going to come through, and a lot of these Roaches start to go down. I wonder if there's a lot of counter damage potential now because you've been able to do so much initially, and shut down so much. If GuMiho can just keep going across the map and really punish RagnaroK for having tried to commit into this, that could be actually really interesting. Pretty cool. Roaches just getting back over here. I'm just going to be having drones, Roaches, Queens, all continuing out for the moment. This medevac is going to lift across and take a few units into the main base. There's a Spore Crawler already on the way up here right now as well. Spraying that through. But, yeah, Marines and a tank. Well, at least force some units out of position. Now the Hellions are going to try and hit the third, but there are Roaches there. What about the Natural? No, the Natural is undefended. Units come from the high ground, but there's going to be at least a good few drones going down. 6. Going to get 7. There's a couple of HP drones still. And regen. That one drone regen, but does go down. 8 workers killed. Oh, the tank is back here as well, but that was apparently the end of the medevac, unfortunately, so that will now have fallen. Okay, then. Well, with 8 rockets killed, not a bad attack from GuMiho, plus the fact RagnaroK committed into all those roaches early, so it's definitely adding up against RagnaroK for the moment. Definitely is not looking too hot for him at the moment here. Still alive though, still kicking. Again, 1-1 tied up in this best of 3 lower bracket of the HomeStory Cup Korean qualifier, everybody. As you do have a roach, is going to start picking away at the Hellion over there. Start chipping through that. Some damage done. Missile upgrades, lane speed, roach speed, all on the way out. It's just going to stick to the roach style despite playing against a bio army. I mean, playing a roach style is not unheard of. 1-1 timings and everything, you know, frequently pretty darn powerful, so not surprising to see something like that maybe on the mind of our Terran player. And we're also going to drop in over there on the 3rd base as well. Let's just get that rolling. As this overseer flies over, and is going to have a little check-in on just what else is going on as well. Hello. Hi, guys. How you doing today? Nice to see you all. Oh, you guys aren't friendly still. Okay, let me just get out of here. Step away from the vicious Marines. Austin with the raid. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Well, I guess I just said that this is the HomeStory Cup qualifier and stuff, so hi, hi, hi. Thanks for dropping by, and welcome you all. And I hope you guys are going to have some fun with this HomeStory Cup Korean qualifier over the next couple of hours. That's our plan of action for the day here in terms of StarCraft 2. We do actually have more stuff later today as well, some non-StarCraft stuff. I'll talk about that a bit further down the line. It's not something we need to talk about just yet. No, it isn't. Marines joining into the center of the map. Straight a hive, by the way, as well for RagnaroK. So I think he knew he wasn't in a position to hit like a strong 1-1 timing or anything along those lines, so he will not go for anything along those lines. Some Marines up to the top side, just getting unloaded here, and GuMiho staying aggressive. We do have the Roach Rabbit in the center, going to start picking through some rocks. That's just going to open up this area of attack. I mean, is he just going to send it with Vanland speed finishing shortly? He could. He could just say, screw it, let's go, let's do this. It's a possibility. Rabbit continues to move up. Tanks do get siege, Marines get set. I'm going to go moving forward, and this Battalion Force is going to come and kind of greet this initially. Fourth CC of GuMiho blocked by a few roaches, but they won't last very long at all. This is going to get cleaned up pretty much straight away, so I get shut down, no doubt about it. No love there. Big push from GuMiho continues through. That's the good news for RagnaroK, is that at least GuMiho is kind of coming to him. He gets to accelerate into this fight off the creep spread. Good splits backward from GuMiho. A lot of these Banes having to run in off creep and just getting split again, so not having the best of times. In the end, RagnaroK is going to end up pushed back. I don't think this situation's ever really meant to go good for him, honestly, so it does not. Army gets cleaned out, and GuMiho, I think, continue to trade well. 5.9 to 8.2k resources lost. On our way to Vipers and an Ultra Cavern, though. I mean, there's definitely, you know, things that can change how this game goes overall. So, I don't know. Don't call, don't call the game too early, right? It's, the tech on the way from RagnaroK can definitely put him into a stronger position. Right now, GuMiho, I would say, is in the driver's seat. Yeah, down a bit of supply right now, but his army is strong. You know, his base setup is great. These are the things you got to really look at in these situations, usually. So, yeah, overall, I think a very good setup for GuMiho. But RagnaroK, 100% not out of the game, and especially with the extra tech coming online, that could be stuff that GuMiho struggles with a little bit more. That could be, you know, what changes everything, so we shall see. He's left up into the medevacs, pulling away, some tank shots firing up a storm, and, I mean, units there just not going to have a good time against that line of tanks. And it is a pretty deep line of tanks at that, so yeah, not too surprising to see that coverage. Kind of just destroying the Zerg force immediately. Marines pulling away in the bottom right side. Some corrosive vials are actually going to land and find themselves some value. So a little bit of damage done over there, clearing up a little bit. Again, Marines and Banshee play continuing through. That one Banshee supporting this force. This being the position GuMiho has been setting up for all this time. I mean, he set up in this position basically from the start. But now wants to apparently stay here too. Go once again. It's going to be RagnaroK engaging in. He does get great blinding clouds though, so this time the tanks are not going to be anywhere near as useful. Can we get rid of those tanks before they come back online? Yes, they get corrosive vial down. Huge win from RagnaroK being able to clean out the siege tanks. Without those, GuMiho's army is so much weaker. Really is not capable of doing anywhere near as much. Let's see if we can hold on for now, as we have that one Banshee which is just chipping through Ravages at the moment, being as annoying as possible. Kind of impressed though that RagnaroK found all those blind clouds, because the Vipers were getting targeted down as well. They were kind of low HP. Fire Force down the bottom right, just going to go via the Watchtower and clean out a bit of creep spread. Going for a different direction now, but I'm not sure that's going to necessarily change anything. GuMiho just needs to find a way to take much better fights here in the long run. Plain and simple. Needs to find a way to take much better fights. He's going to get maxed again, though, so it's not like his final chance has passed him by. Resources lost only about 4,000, which is not great when you look at it from GuMiho's point of view. You know, usually you would like that to be a little bit better in your favor. But manageable. Again, just absolutely a situation where you can look to be okay. This Bioforce still moving around the bottom right side. Is once more heading towards that Watchtower. I'm just going to be taking that over. Bane Ravager Ultra coming through. Bioforce is there to fight back a little bit, but it's kind of getting surrounded. And GuMiho is going to get a bunch of units picked off. Unfortunately, unsuccessful over there. Bastion Glance finishing 2. Love that all the tech that RagnaroK's going for, just tacking him up. Feels like GuMiho's at that point where a few ghosts would actually be really nice to add in, and it feels like he's rich enough and safe enough to do it. I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't. He's got the Ghost Academy. But especially with Ultras out, I mean, just even just 3 or 4 ghosts can go such a long way. Bioforce pulls out of Healings, Ultras, Banes. Continuing through, the Bioforce splits away a little bit. Just gonna come on through here, SCV's gonna try and repair the bunker. Last ditch effort, it feels like maybe a bit too late for GuMiho. And this one might just already be done. He is going to push this back for now, but again, it feels like we're on GuMiho's last legs at the moment. That was a good fight for him from RagnaroK, and denying bases that are critical to GuMiho's kind of setup in this game, honestly. So, he needs to be, careful about that. Now we're going to have other bases in trouble very quickly as well, and that also becomes a pretty major problem when you're going to have Ling Bane rolling at you. GuMiho is still stable. He's trying to get back up into Liberator Ghost. I mean, that was what I was kind of asking for before, at least the Ghost part of it. Liberators work well also in this sort of situation. Even if the Vipers can abduct them, you still have to have the Vipers abducting them instead of dropping Blinding Clouds or the other stuff that the Vipers usually like to do, right? So, Fire loads up. Just going to see the Medivacs evacuating away. The Ling Ravager Force coming through on this right side. The Ultralisks as well. I'm going to turn around and go in after those bio units. All those Ultras being picked away at still, and just having the Ling Ultra still coming through over here. The Planetary Fortress just picking away at whatever Zerglings are possible. It's just not seemingly enough. RagnaroK keeps throwing units at GuMiho, and okay, it's maybe not fully efficient. It doesn't need to be because he's mining so much more. He's taking down economy with these strikes. If he wasn't taking down the economy, then sure, then RagnaroK might run out of steam. Then it might be a bit of a mistake. But in this case, right now, that's okay. Couple lives getting sieged up here, and this Ultralisk is going to get sniped down. But it has all these reinforcing units that are going to have a very good time here. Only thing that's really missing is maybe a comfortable way to deal with these Liberators, which in fairness is on the way. A few Corruptors are now building. Meanwhile, the Ling Ultra Force continues in and is going to have a pretty good time continuing to chase that down. Two Banes rolling through as well, again on top of this Bio Army and clearing their way through this. GuMiho survives. Problem is, surviving isn't winning necessarily. They'll give you a chance, they'll give you openings, but I guess at this stage, you're playing to survive, right? You play to survive, and then you maybe say, hey, look, he didn't kill me properly. Hey, look, he traded badly enough into me repeatedly that I'm actually, still able to make this happen. So that could be maybe the future here as we see Lings are just straight on this base, though. I mean, that's the issue. Again, every single time these fights happen, it's always going in favor of RagnaroK. And he's getting so much economy killed from GuMiho that it's hard to imagine GuMiho can stay in this. It's hard to imagine he can keep this competitive at all. 20 SCVs, I mean, a lot of the army getting shredded there as well. Not really much else to add to it, huh? Like I said, kind of a interesting game. Just GuMiho was... I really liked where GuMiho was at. Felt like the early game was good for him. Felt like the attacks were okay for him. Just felt like he maybe transitioned a bit late. And some of these swarmy attacks. I mean, there's that one fight top left with the Vipers hitting the blind.